know.
So we are going to get started. Thank you for taking some time. I know that it's been a long 2 days with a lot of content, but it's not every day that you get to sit with an Olympian. So I'm super excited. And oh, by the way, if you are vibing to the song that was just playing as we walked up, that is Miss Angel McCoughtry as well.
Thank you so much.
So you are, I'm gonna call you Slash because you do a lot of things. You are an athlete, an entrepreneur, a musician. I'm sure there's some other slashes in there that I forgot.
Some other little slashes.
Yeah, so really quick, for those who don't know you, brag on yourself for like 2 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Well, I played in WNBA. I played in WNBA for about 13, 14 years, so I've had a long career. Now I'm getting into the tech world, so that's why I'm here, and I appreciate Dennis, for inviting me out here to talk with everyone.
You are way too modest. That was not 2 minutes. So I'm gonna help you out a little bit. So you were an athlete at Louisville.
Yeah.
Did they say Louisville? Or?
Yep, go Cards.
Okay. And tell me about your career at Louisville, and then we'll go into the WNBA.
Yeah, my career at Louisville was, it was definitely an amazing experience. When I went to Louisville, everybody knows this is about the men's basketball team and football and stuff like that. So when I signed to go there, the women's team, they had never been past the first round of the NCAA tournament. So I remember as a freshman, I went to the men's game, and it was amazing. Rick Pitino was the coach. I know you guys remember Rick Pitino, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to play the next day. We had a game the next day. And when it was, when I showed up for the game next day, I asked one of the seniors, I said, where's everybody? She's like, this is it. 18,000 seat arena with like maybe 400, 500 people in there. And I'm like, you can hear the crickets. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, this is Louisville. How can, I remember as a freshman, I said to myself, this is gonna change. And literally each year we just got better and better. By my senior year, we made it to the Final Four, national championship game. Of course, we lost to UConn. But now we hold the record for attendance. We're top 5 in attendance in the NCAA. We average 10,000 plus fans every game. Thank you so much. So, and they hold the record for attendance. When we played UConn, we had 18,000 people. So it's amazing to see the growth of what's come now. Louisville is like top 10 every year in the Final Four. But when I got there, there was none of that history. So
that was all you.
I'm not going to say it's all me, but it's amazing to be a part of that kind of tradition.
Yeah, absolutely. And then from there, you went to the WNBA where,
yeah.
How many titles are we looking at?
So I was drafted number 1 to Atlanta in 2009.
Number 1 overall?
Number 1 overall.
Okay.
Thank you. I haven't won a WNBA championship yet. I've been to the finals 4 times. So I ain't retired. Okay. I still got time, but I feel like I've accomplished everything. I have 2 gold medals. I've been to the Olympics. I've done everything. That's the one thing, one last piece of the puzzle. So whether I get it or not, I'm so blessed, and I've had an amazing career, regardless.
Okay. And then let's talk about the Olympics. Well, actually, no. All-Star.
Okay.
How many All-Star appearances?
I've been to 5 or 6 All-Star appearances, which is tons of fun. Playing with some of the best girls in the world, Candace Parker, Brittany Griner, Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird. So it's an amazing experience. And to the Olympics, nothing beats being an Olympian. Like, I wish that everybody could experience that experience. Just if you don't have to play in it, just to go. Just go and just enjoy all the countries that are there, everybody waving their flags. Go watch swimming and volleyball and basketball. It's an amazing experience. It's nothing like it.
And you went to how many Olympics?
I was in 2012 in London, and I was in 2016 Rio. And I was supposed to go to Tokyo 2020, 2021, of course, with the pandemic and stuff, but I got injured. I had tore my ACL during that year, so I didn't get to go to the Tokyo Olympics. But tons of fun, got to hang out with some of the guys, and I have a funny story. So when we was in London, 2012, I'm a big sweet eater, so I wanted some cheesecake. I called down the hotel. They're like, sorry, we're closed. I said, excuse me, I'm here with Kobe Bryant, and I want some cheesecake. You want some cheesecake? Ding dong. 5 seconds later, that cheesecake was up. I did that for like 3 nights in a row. Angel McCoughtry can't get cheesecake if she wants it, but Kobe can. I use that and I ride that out. So.
That's funny. That's funny. And oh, you picked up some hardware too along the way at those Olympic Games. So.
Yeah.
So we're talking gold.
Talking gold. And man, that thing, when I wear that thing around my neck, it has so much power. Like everywhere I go, people are like, "Oh my God, is that a real gold medal? It's so heavy." Like literally, it hurts your neck because it's so heavy. And I can only imagine people like Michael Phelps. He has like, what, 20 of them? So I can't imagine him wearing all those around his neck because the two I have are heavy. So I can only imagine.
So did you do like everybody else and bite it?
Yeah,
everybody bites the medal.
I have a picture of me just like, you got to do it. You know what I mean? So.
And I always wonder, is it gold plated? How much could you pawn it
like,
for?
It does have real gold in it. I think it's about 10-20% gold.
Okay.
But it's just the prestige of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the prestige of it.
No, I'm just playing. I don't think you would want to sell it, but just in case you did, I was curious. So, with respect to why you're here, you are, like I said, you wear many hats. So you do a lot of different things. You're an entrepreneur at spirit.
Yeah.
So, what was your first entrepreneurial venture outside of sports?
My first entrepreneurial venture was McCoughtry's Ice Cream. I had opened up an ice cream shop, and I loved it. It was a cool brand. The kids loved it. I had closed it during COVID because COVID was tough. We just bringing it back. But the one thing I learned was that you got to have a good team around you in business. That's what makes a business successful. Just like in basketball, I compare everything to basketball because that's what I've been doing since 8 years old. So, you know, you want to have a good team. And in order to have a good team, that's how you win, right? Just like in sport. So that's the same thing in business. Most businesses fail. The number one statistic is because people steal from the business. That's the number one reason. So having a good team is so important.
Yeah. And as far as developing that team, how do you find the people that you work with? What traits do you look for, you know?
I think people who are invested in your business. My partner, Daniel, he told me something really great yesterday. He said most people who might work for your business, they don't care about it as much as you do because it's not theirs. But when you find the people who care about your business just as much as you do, those are the people you want to keep around.
Absolutely. I've had some bad business partners in the day. My wife can attest. So, you know, choosing people will make your life easier and actually make the business successful. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and like you said, like it's the ups and downs that create your business. Like I don't believe that failure is a bad thing, right? Because every time you might consider it being a failure, what happens? You learn, you grow, you get wiser. So is that really failure? No, it's growth. It's learning experience. So, you know, I don't think you should feel bad about if you make mistakes in business. We've all done it. You know what I mean? It's helped me become a better businesswoman. So I don't think that's nothing to hang your head about.
Okay. And then from there, from ice cream, and actually it's funny, I know that Felicia Hatcher, who was one of the keynote speakers earlier, she started off with, I think, ice cream and popsicles.
No way.
You know, in Miami and kind of developed that, and now she's doing the tech thing with Pharrell. But what transitioned from ice cream, what did you do next? What was the next venture?
I think the next venture was my new tech business. And of course, I knew nothing about tech. I didn't know which way to go. It was just an idea that started. And from that idea, I sat on it for a while. And I was like, should I do this? I was like, maybe not. And then when Kobe Bryant passed away, I was like, I have to do this idea. So you guys will understand once I explain it to you, but I was like, I gotta get this done. And I started reaching out to one guy I knew who did some tech stuff. He's like, this is not a bad idea. He's like, let me call some of my guys, and that's how I got affiliated with Daniel. And we've been working on it for what, 2 years, Daniel?
All right. Yeah. So actually, since we've mentioned Daniel a couple of times, Daniel, why don't you come to the stage?
Come on up, Daniel.
And while you come to the stage, if we could play the video for Angel's venture, I think people will understand exactly what the service is that she's going to be offering through her new service.
Absolutely.
Hello, Jenny. It's Grandpa. Happy 30th birthday. Although I can't be there to celebrate with you, I can still send you my best wishes with this video message. By now, you're probably a doctor, just like you wanted when you were 7 years old. Or maybe not. It's okay either way. Whatever it is that you do, I just hope that it makes you happy. I bet you have a great family and a lot of friends. that you're surrounded by good people that love and appreciate you, because you deserve it, kiddo. I wish I could be there to see you all grown up. To me, you'll always be that brave little girl who's never afraid to take up any challenge and speak her mind, no matter what. Just like I taught you. I'm proud of you, and I love you. P.S. I'm with you, always.
And I bet y'all thought it was going to be a basketball app, huh?
Yeah, that video always makes me kind of emotional. The platform is called P.S. I'm With You, and it's a way to leave messages or gifts to a loved one after they pass away. As you saw, it was her granddad who was passed away, and he surprised her with that message. So we want to provide healing to people. Obviously the target audience is people who are sick or high-risk jobs like policemen and firefighters. And you can leave, anybody can do it because we never know our time, but you can leave messages in advance to a loved one. So let's say I have a kid and I want to tell him, congratulations for getting married in advance, or I want to tell him congratulations for, graduating, anything like that. So, and you can send gifts. So up to how many years after you pass away. So that's what our platform would do, and that, I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, it definitely is, because a lot of people don't think about their mortality.
Yeah.
And what it means to leave loved ones abruptly.
Yeah.
Or even if it's something that's going to be, planned and people know in advance, or have an idea of their timeline.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to, communicate after the fact, because, everybody has someone who's going to miss them.
Exactly. And like you said, you just never know your time. We want to provide the healing. We'll obviously, too, leave a digital will. So imagine how many families are torn apart, after someone passes away. This is mine. I want this. That happens so often. So we want to be able to provide the person leaving that will through video to say, hey, I left this for Tim. I left that for Susan, and then we want to provide digital time capsule. I don't know if you guys ever did a time capsule back when you were in school, when you were little, and you wrote that letter to yourself and you buried it. So you could be able to write something to yourself and maybe it pop up 10 years later through our platform. I'll let Daniel add a little bit too, if you want to.
You covered a lot of it. What we're really trying to do is provide healing for people.
Yeah.
We were talking with a few people as we were walking around this show and asking people if there's messages that they would have liked to receive from their loved ones, and we've got an awesome reaction from a lot of people. And that's really what we're trying to provide, just the ability to be able to see that person one more time, or get that message of approval or hope in a time where you're not feeling that great. So that's what we're really looking to provide there.
Yeah, and one other thing, Dennis, is imagine if, none of us knows, maybe our grandparents' parents or our great-great-great-grands, imagine like that digital time tree where down the line, they can still know who you are and they can still see your face and what you've done and what you accomplished, because we don't know anybody past a certain point, right? Well, now we can provide that. Down, your lineage all the way down can know who you are. I think that's really beautiful.
So Daniel, tell me a little bit about the underlying technology. Is this a web-based app? Is this a mobile app?
Yeah, right now it's a web-based app. We are looking at version 2 to be a mobile app as well. We really wanted to get something out there and going. There's an issue when you're building, and I think some people have come across this, when you're building new technologies, you want to add more features and more features and more features, and really what we wanted to do is just make sure that we got the first version out there so people that are already contacting us can actually upload their videos. And then we decided, okay, here's version 1, this is what we were able to do, and then we have a roadmap to work on version 2, which includes a mobile app, which includes adding additional gifts, which includes being able to send those messages to multiple people at the same time, or to be able to even save your videos and things like that. So those are all part of our roadmaps.
Okay, all right. So what stage, it sounds like you guys are like MVP or post MVP stage?
Yeah, just a little bit past MVP stage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, where we already have people on it. Some people that were at the show already started recording. We have some other people that heard about us through our social media platform that already started recording. So we're a little bit past the MVP stage, but not where it's continuously growing, as most technology does.
Yeah.
And see, I need to learn the tech terminology because MVP in my mind, I'm just going to basketball. So.
Yes, minimally viable product.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And basically, with respect to that minimally viable product, that's, you know, the core. What can you do at a very minimum, very base level, your product, and then you can start adding bells and whistles. Those bells and whistles that you want to add, are you the tech team right now, or do you have an extended team?
I'm not the full team. I am one of the developers. We do have a group of about 4 of us that are all doing different parts of the development process. So we're moving a lot faster now than when we did a year ago.
Yeah.
But to be honest, the slowest part was actually trying to figure out how to make it work. It wasn't actually the technology itself. There was a lot of issues that come into play when you're talking about humans and people passing away and dealing with children, for example. Websites and children don't necessarily go hand in hand. So we had a lot of insight, and we had to really learn how to make it work, not just as a technology point of view, but as a human point of view.
Yeah.
Speaking of that human point of view, you mentioned this story yesterday when we were meeting, where, you know, someone here, you were just, you know, explaining the app.
Gosh.
And, you know, it really resonated with her. Mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, we were over here in room N listening to how to get an investment for your companies. And he'd asked a question, and the lady said, what do you do? And he kind of explained. And the lady sitting next to me, she wrote something on her phone, and I looked at it, and it says, I would love to leave a message for my children. I currently have a brain aneurysm. And then I showed it to Daniel. I'm like, whoa. And then afterward, I spoke to her, and I showed her this video. Literally, she bust out crying, and she just held me for like 5 minutes. And I mean, we just held each other for 5 minutes, and just the emotion behind that. It was just like, you know, this is what this is about. You just never know who you're going to touch and what people are going through, and who, you know, wants to leave their legacy behind for their children, to surprise them. You know, what would the reaction be for her children to see that she left something for them, you know, up to how many years after, you know? And that's what it was more so her emotion behind it, that it meant a lot to her. Because we weren't sure, you know, we're just testing this out. We're not sure what are people's reactions going to be, how are they going to feel about it? Are they going to be terrified or scared? We have no idea, but that yesterday really confirmed, it encouraged me, like, you know what, we got to get this out. And we just held each other for 5 minutes, and that was probably one of the highlights of this trip that I'm going to take with me. It was amazing. That was life-changing.
Yeah. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, you know, focus, and, you know, they get pulled in different directions, want to do a lot of things at one time.
Yeah.
Is this something that you think will be kind of the project, or do you have other ideas and other projects you might want to get off in the future? And where do you see yourself in the tech space ultimately? I
definitely want to learn more. Like, I didn't know the terminology just now. There's so much to learn.
Yeah.
I think you told me yesterday you got to learn. What did you say?
You got to learn to learn.
You got to learn to learn. And it's kind of like, you know, obviously I don't have much left in my basketball career. I'm 36 now. In basketball years, that's getting old in basketball years. So I would say about 2 more years I'm going to retire. So I'm going to kind of be starting over. And I want to learn in different spaces, especially this tech space. So.
Oh, this is a safe space? You're among friends?
This is a safe space, right? I love it.
And we definitely encourage learning and questions, and everybody starts their journey at different places. So don't ever feel like you can't, you know, reach out to our community for assistance. I mean, that's what we're here for as a collective.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking for everybody in the audience, by the way. So, you know, if Angel hits you up, you know, I told her to.
Yeah.
But as far as the way that you want to launch this product, it seems like there's a need and a market for it. Have you thought about, like, how you want to present it to the world? Is it going to be something you tie to your other ventures? Is it going to be totally separate? You know, will you be at a basketball game representing, you know, PS, or, you know, how are you going to do it?
I kind of, in my mind, and I could be wrong, I wanted to keep it separate. You know, I think it's just a whole nother world and a whole nother venture outside of the game of basketball, you know. that's just kind of how I look at it. I mean, I just see it being its own entity, own thing, and once it grows, I think people will understand the concept, and I think it can be really something that changes the world. I really think people will lean in more into it, you know, especially people who are, like you said, who are sick, who maybe just heard they only have 6 months to live. That goes on a lot, you know, or someone, like you said, that have a high-risk job. You know, a policeman or firefighter, they don't know when they walk out that door and go to work that day what can happen. So I definitely want it to be kind of like that separate thing.
Okay. Now I'm going to shift gears a little bit and talk about, you know, some of the nuts and bolts of, you know, startup businesses. So how are you monetizing? What's the price point? You know, talk to me about the money.
Yeah, that's why he's up here.
Okay, so we have 2 different plans. One is a free plan that allows people to record for 5 minutes for free, and that's unlimited in terms of how long you want to keep it for or how long until you want to send it. And then we have the other plan that's $15 right now, and we're playing with a price point to figure out, but it is a service model. They pay $15 a month. You have unlimited recording. You can send it to as many people as you want, and we also have the ability, what we're calling keepers, and that's someone that notifies our system when you pass away. So you can have multiple people that can notify the system.
Okay.
Yeah, because you might ask, how do we know the person is going to pass away?
Which is another issue that we had to come up with a solution.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that one, but yeah.
Because we were like, okay, we can have them leave it in their wills, which that could be an option for the, you know, the lawyer to let us know to release the video to their loved one. But it's like, when we looked it up, only 40% of people have wills. Yeah. We were like, whoa, I didn't realize that percentage was so low. But we also came up with the idea that each person can have up to 5 keepers. Okay. And if a keeper passes away before that person does, you can switch out the keeper.
Okay. And I'm assuming you're paying monthly for the storage. Is it up until the person passes, or when is that term end?
The recording stays on the app or on the website for as long as you want. You will have the ability to download it and take it off the application itself, but until the user wants to get rid of it, it stays there for them, so that they can always go back and check it out.
Okay. So theoretically, it should be there in perpetuity until they decide it's not.
Exactly.
Okay.
But if the person passes, like you said, if they're still paying, it would definitely stop. If that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes total sense. And have you thought about other partnerships with, like, funeral homes or insurance companies, or, you know?
Oh yeah. Especially for, well, I'll talk about the digital will aspect, because obviously when we, you know, provide that in like phase 2 or 3, we're gonna have to put, like, it's not legally binding because each state has a different rule. So it will kind of just be a thing that you just do to kind of keep the peace, I guess, per se, until we start to go that route, because that's going to be like a long, deep route of going through each state with their laws and dealing with insurance companies and stuff like that. But we do plan on partnering with insurance companies and things like that. And also, the lady yesterday actually had a great idea. She's like, this is like a Build-A-Bear. I was like, oh my God. So if we partner with like Build-A-Bear or something where one of the recordings is through the bear, let's say someone's mom wants to put, I love you so much, keep going, and she's passed away, and it's through the bear. I thought that was a really cool idea that she had. So we will partner with people like 1-800-Flowers, because we want them to be able to leave gifts, you know, for birthdays or whatever, however many years they want to pass away. So they want to do 5-year package, 20 years, whatever they want to do.
Nice. And as far as challenges, either business or technical, what are the biggest challenges? I know you mentioned a couple. Do you have anything that's like a hurdle that you just like, okay, we're working on right now that we're trying to solve?
Yeah, absolutely. It really comes down to how do we automate the ability to notify, to know when someone passes away. We're using keepers right now, but what we would really like to do is be able to like scrape social media or be able to connect somehow to, let's say Facebook, right? And you have life events where you can see if someone passes away. Our website will, in the V2, will be able to actually pull that out and be able to automatically start sending out those videos.
Yeah.
So that's been we're working on that. We wanted that to be version 1, but that takes some time.
And
that would be nice, yeah.
Yeah, one hurdle I had has nothing to do with tech, but like I asked my grandma to do it. I said, you know, my grandmother has 4 kids, including my mom. I was like, can you just do this and I'll hold the videos for you? Like, just, it's been hard for her to do it. I've asked her a year ago. My grandmother's 83 now. I don't know, so that's the hurdle I've come across, is like it being hard for some people to actually get it done. And I'm begging her, I'm like, Grandma, please, this is gonna be amazing. Like, just do it. She's like, I'm gonna do it, baby. But I can tell it's hard for her.
Yeah.
That's the hurdle I've come across. But 2 stories real quick. I read an article. It was one lady. She had a husband who had died years ago from cancer, and he sent her flowers through, I guess, 1-800-Flowers, and he just did it way in advance. I don't know how they remembered to do it, and she was just so ecstatic. And then another story is when Vanessa found a gift that Kobe left her, like a letter for her birthday or a small gift. He had got her gift in advance, and then 1 month later, we obviously know what happened, but I saw that on her platform. I'm like, man, what if he could still leave this stuff for his daughter or for her? What if he could tell her, like, now to, hey, go date, it's okay, in advance. You know what I mean? So I think that stuff is really cool through the platform.
Oh, man.
Woo!
That's fine. Like, where's the tissues at? Okay, I'm good. All right, so we have a couple minutes for some Q&A, but one last question for you before I go to the audience. With respect to basketball right now, you're with the Lynx, right?
I'm not. I'm actually a free agent right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we usually sign in January.
Okay.
So you'll hear the announcement of where I go in January.
Okay, so you're not gonna break the news here? No, I'm just playing.
Not yet, because we're not done, you know, negotiations. It's not set
Oh,
yet.
it's not done. Okay.
January around the corner.
I'll be scoping Adam Schefter to see if he dropped that. All right, so I don't know if we have a microphone. I always do this. I know we do. Oh, look, A-Star, my man, got the mic. Okay, so if anybody has questions, hands up and.
Hey, I thought of another demographic for you. Dementia runs in my family, and one of the things, I'm afraid, you know, you never know if you're going to get it, and I would love to leave my grandsons messages. I don't know if you've thought about that population at all, and you could partner with National Alzheimer's Network or whatever. That's a whole new demographic there.
Absolutely. And how many of you guys have seen 50 First Dates? Yeah. So the movie's all about being able to record messages, or being able to. The idea is someone that has memory loss issues wakes up the next morning, doesn't know who she is, they pretend like every day that it's the same day. So at the end of the movie, it was really about her being able to tell herself how things are going instead of hearing it from somebody else. So we would actually really like to be able to work with people with Alzheimer's to be able to record messages for themselves. Maybe record, hey, you need to do this appointment. A video comes up in 2 months telling you from yourself, hey, this appointment's happening. You know. Yeah,
because 2 movies that I watched, you know, before like really getting into this idea was 50 First Dates and P.S. I Love You. So, which really kind of ties into it. And I was thinking, like, could we go as far as like in the movie P.S. I Love You? Because obviously the name is similar, P.S. I'm With You. Yeah. Could it go as far as like in the movie P.S. I Love You, like sending gifts where they fly you somewhere like that treasure hunt like they did? So I think that would be really cool. But that's amazing, because that's what the movie was in 50 First Dates. He kept reminding her why you're here and why we're married, and I think that definitely can tie in.
I was thinking The Notebook too.
Oh, and The Notebook. Oh, see. and here's one more thing. Every time we talk to different people about it, more and more ideas come. That's the amazing thing about this, is like the Build-A-Bear idea. Now your idea is like, somebody gave me the family tree idea that your lineage can know who you are down the line. Yeah. So more and more ideas come every time we talk to different people. So.
Yeah. So I know Dennis earlier talked about partnering with like funeral homes, but I do know. So I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and there is a company called Batesville Casket, and they are located in Batesville, Indiana. And so you would think that Batesville Casket only like sells caskets and maybe some other things, but they don't. They provide an entire software suite for other funeral homes, so that these funeral homes can administer their clients, right? So just kind of putting that out there, like seeking those type of companies out as well, not just the funeral homes, but maybe integrating your product in with, and I don't know if you want to keep it independent or how you want to do it, but maybe have a licensing type of agreement with these different type of companies that provide full-blown integrations for these other funeral services, so that the funeral services can do what they do best, which is provide funeral services, and not all of the administrative overhead that comes with that. So
I think that's so cool, because what I would want to do is like, I would want to record a video from my funeral and be like, "What up, y'all? I don't want nobody in here crying and sad. Y'all better party." Like I think that would be so cool, because I want people to know I don't want nobody sad, and that's what I remind people when someone passes away. They don't want you sad. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. Oh, keep living, keep going.
I don't
know.
What I mean? I might want some sad people.
Nah, nah. For real, Dennis?
I mean, a little bit. Yeah, it can be a little sad, but then get over it quickly.
Nah. Well, I want y'all happy and living and enjoying yourself. I don't want y'all sad for what? I've been having partying myself. I don't need y'all sad down here. So, I think that could be really cool, where people can leave a message before at their funeral and have it already set in stone. And you just have that one keeper, or if the funeral home, whatever, however it works, to put it out during the funeral. I think but that's a great idea. Great idea.
My name is Dennis Hodges. Yeah. So my question is, I know how difficult it is to have a depth conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
And when you asked me that question, I guess I interpreted it incorrectly. You asked me how I feel if someone can talk to me basically from the dead. I'm like, what kind of technology is that, right?
Yeah, because I interviewed him earlier.
Yeah, I'm like, I have to be kind of concerned, but now I'm hearing,
You did say that.
I saw her face, she's like, this is my product.
No.
No, I'm joking. But no, I'm like, now listening to your story and watching the automated video, I want to know, how difficult is it for you to have those tough conversations with family members who, just say, 35 years old, have 2 kids and a husband, who's not like pre-death certified, like cancer and the diseases?
I think it's no easier than having to make your will. I think we all should have a will, right? And then when you write your will, you kind of think like, dang, I don't want to do this because it's kind of weird and I don't want to think about, right? But you still kind of gotta do it per se. Even though a lot of people don't have it, I think it's important to have. So recording the videos in advance or leaving the gifts in advance, I don't think it's no different than having to leave a will. I think it's just getting it done and then you forget about it, right? Because that's what you do with your will. You get it done and then it's gone and then it's being held and then you just forget about it and keep living.
So do you find that to be a easy conversation to navigate with people?
I can actually add to that as well. The system is not just if you pass away. A lot of us here are parents and we have kids at home. And a lot of times we are not able to be there. Let's say you're not there for their birthday, right? So you can kind of get the ball rolling with being able to record videos saying, hey honey, I'm sorry I can't make it to your birthday, I'm on a work trip. Or if you're in the military, you're out on service, you can leave those videos. So you kind of get people accustomed to being able to leave videos, not for their death, but then eventually they're gonna want to do that because they're already accustomed to those videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my other one was, I know they have like a death certificate at the county of their, where they live. If you guys try to partner with the state who does the death certificate and see how they can work with an API or whatever to notify your app that this person is dead, and of course you will need HIPAA and everything else and them to sign off on it. But I think that might be a more easier way to navigate that process or alarm you guys that someone passed away?
Yeah, absolutely. And we are working on that. However, different states have different requirements in terms of how long until they have to notify when someone passes away. Some states are even a month in the like it takes over a month to be able to get that death certificate. So we're trying to figure out what's the fastest way, because you don't, if you're gonna get a video from someone that passed away and it's for the actual ceremony, we don't want it to happen a month late. We want it to happen on the spot. So there are some states that are very quick with it, a couple days to a week, and then there's other states that are over a month. So it really just depends on the state.
Yeah. Great question.
There's a question in the back.
Hello, my name is Aura, and I'm in the EdTech and instructional design space. So I wanted to know, so I always look at things from teachable moments and opportunities for education. So do you think your app could be used to educate people, especially in the Black community, about planning wills and estate planning? Because you said only 40%. So the app could actually serve as an on-ramp and have embedded education in it.
We actually did mention that in one of our Zoom calls. We were like, wow, we didn't, because when we looked up the statistic, we were like, how can we help people be more aware of that? So I think that's definitely something we definitely should figure out to kind of raise awareness on that. Because a lot of people don't talk about it enough. You know, nobody wants to talk about your will and last testament, but I think it's so important. I think definitely we can do something to try to raise that awareness. Because also I want to add on there too, like chats of people, and this will be like probably phase 4, because we have different phases for the app. Right now we're just in phase 1, but I want to add different chats for people who are going through cancer, or people who are going through, you know, something else, like anything. There's so much stuff out here, and those people in those different chats can talk about what they're going through, how they're going through it, you know what I mean? AIDS and HIV chat, or just whatever. So I think phase 4, we definitely want to do that, and to raise awareness for the wills. Definitely.
There was one more question I thought, or actually two. One in the very back, and depending on how long that question is, we'll get to this gentleman up here.
Hi, my name is Arafe. I'm from Virginia. I have more so a comment. So my mother was diagnosed with ALS back in 2018, and one of the first things to go, excuse me, was her voice. And now she's unable to speak. And during that journey, like her onset was so rapid, there was a lot of things that we just didn't know in regards to preservation. So we later found out about voice banking. In the ALS community, that's something that they're really trying to get the word out because it's almost inevitable, right? As the muscles weaken. So there is an entire community that they know if you're living with ALS, you know, that's, your voice is one of the first thing that's going to go. So I was just going to say that that's a community that I would recommend.
Definitely.
Just, connecting with. I have some resources I could definitely get you connected, but
absolutely,
that's something I know would definitely have benefited, us that we've, been able to take advantage of opportunities and things like this. So
yeah, thank you for sharing that, because of course I didn't know that, and that's definitely something that we want to help with, because I know I read another statistic. They said when a person passes away, you start to forget what they sounded like. You start to forget their voice. So for people who are still living and to not hear that.
Yeah, so ironically enough, she has a communicator device called an eye gaze, and she actually types with her eyes.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, technology is crazy.
No way.
So it has like a series of sensors across the bottom, and there's a keyboard that pops up on the screen, and she looks
So
at
whatever
the
letter she looks at, it types that?
Yep.
Jeez.
It's like a little sensor stays on the letter, and she types out messages, poems, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then she can look at a button that says speak, and it'll, we talk all day, and she can text from her device.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
But you mentioned about forgetting what voice sounds like. Now it's like this generic computerized voice is what I hear every single day.
Yeah.
And I just wish I could
still hear that voice, right?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to remember the voice, like anything from the past, or?
So she's still, well, I do have like a voicemail.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm bad about deleting the voicemails, right? But I have a voicemail that she left me. And
oh, good. I just want you to have something, yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And we would definitely want to talk with you after this because that's amazing. See, like I told you, so much more comes when you talk with people with this. It's just something that's just growing and you learn so much. So thank you for that.
All right, and there was one more question in the middle.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Justin Lindbergh. I'm a software developer at ESPN. And
Nice.
I really resonate with a lot of things that you're saying right now. When I was in high school, by the way, I'm a recent college graduate, so it wasn't that long ago. But
Nice.
When I was in high school, unfortunately, my grandfather passed due to colon cancer. And for me, like, he was my rock. Like, that was my dog. You know what I mean? That's someone I think about often. And so with me just being in the technology space, you know, how can I help in advance? You know, I'd love to hear, I guess, from both of you. Have you all considered, you know, with NFTs and AR and VR being so up and coming now, like how you could shift and maybe, you know, create these virtual environments where I could almost sit next to my loved one.
We just
and
talked
hear their
about
voice.
that. Great question.
That is definitely a conversation that we're having, and we're really hoping companies like Meta can really make virtual reality a thing. Today, it's not very many people have VR headsets. I do, but not very many other people do. It's also, you can't just record VR on a phone right now. So we're waiting for that technology to come up. Maybe we're gonna be the ones that eventually build that technology. But yeah, absolutely. I would love to be able to sit down on a couch next to my grandpa and have that conversation again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, of course, everybody's not gonna be ready for that. I get it, but some people will, and I think to be able to sit in VR and see you just hug your grandma or something, I think that's like amazing.
Yeah, no, that is. And one last question for me.
Yeah.
Actually, I just want to get your thoughts, opinion on Brittany Griner. I would be remiss. I know that you know her personally.
Yeah, Brittany was definitely a great friend of mine. We were very, very close, very, very close. And of course, I'm hurt that she's still in Russia. I played in Russia for 3 to 4 years. So we've been in and out those borders many a times. They know us tall black women. It's not like they've never seen us before. They know who we are. They know we're players. Do I think that it's a political issue? Yeah, you know, because I even talked to some of my teammates who live in Russia, who are Russian, and I said, hey, what's y'all idea on this? Y'all living there. What's going on? They was like, Russians are saying it's political too. So if they're saying that, you know, the sentence is very harsh. Do I think that they had to convict her to try to do some kind of trade of what? Because you can't trade someone who's innocent, right? Doesn't make sense. So I think that, you know, she had to have some kind of conviction to do the trade. But is it going to get done? I hope so. I'm praying every day that happens, because if anybody knows Brittany or she's around, she would have you guys laughing the whole time. Yeah, she's 6'9", but she's a big teddy bear. Like, I wish all of you could just meet her. Beautiful personality, like so soft and genuine. Like the way she plays on the court is not who she is as a person. It's just beautiful personality and always has you laughing. So because I know her, I can only imagine her mind frame being in there. And I just read an article the other day. They asked her, did she want to play basketball in the courtyard? And she was like, no. And Brittany loves basketball. So I can only imagine, you know, the mind frame right now. She's in the bunker with 2 other women. So I just want to get her back, you know what I mean? Because I know the sentence is harsh.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So.
And I know you're going to still be here for
Yeah.
the rest of BITCON, which is technically a couple more hours. But if you have some time, check out some other sessions.
Yep.
Make sure you introduce yourself to as many people as you can, because you never know where that next idea is going to come from.
Absolutely.
Maybe you get a software developer out of the mix.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you and Daniel for taking the time to share with us. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for having us. DJ, hit the beat.